Hey, what's up, guys? Today I want to talk about the police brutality incident that happened in Columbia, South Carolina at Spring Valley High School, where a now fired school police officer by the name of Ben Fields assaulted a 16-year-old black student. And when I mean assaulted, he pretty much slammed her to the ground while while she was still in the desk. He flipped her over backwards, slammed her to the ground, and then dragged her across the floor. And I would say that would be extremely overly excessive. If you don't believe me, see so for yourself. Okay. This is a video, and then he's dragging her across the floor. There's more videos of different angles on YouTube, so I'm going to post those in the description below. And I can tell you guys right now that people will be defending and saying what Ben Fields did was justified. He's already been spotted in photos after the incident, shaking people's hands, smiling and smirking. I mean, that smirk on his face makes me, it's so violent, it makes me want to vomit. You know, this guy is proud that he slammed a 16-year-old who's like probably a third or a half his size to the ground and dragged her across the floor. Because you're too stupid enough to follow fucking procedure like you're supposed to. And we also find out that this person, who they haven't released her name, and I hope that they don't, we also find out that she recently just lost her mother. And she's now in foster care. So if this student all of a sudden becomes disruptive in school, then maybe the counselor should try to find out what's going on with this student. You know, and I've seen this personally when it comes to like friends and you know, peers. When I was in high school and middle school, they would be going through some really heavy stuff at home, and it would affect them behaviorally when they came to school. But no one gave a damn to ask about, you know, how they were feeling. Why are you acting like this? Just asking why a student feels the way he or she feels can improve the situation tremendously, because now they know that someone is listening and cares about the situation that they're in, and they want them to you know, and they want to help them. But instead, you know, you have these Gestapo fucking police officers who want to use excessive force constantly. And I'm not saying that all police officers are like this. I would say that, you know, 99% of police officers do their job like how they're supposed to, and they do their jobs like anyone else who has a job. It's at the end of the day, they have families, they have lives. You know, thanks for protecting us. But then you have the 1% who makes you know, all the fucking police officers look like assholes. And now I want to talk about the history of this asshole. And I got this information from a website called safequalityschools.org. They basically did some background digging, and this is the basically Deputy Ben Fields' history as a police officer. Now, Ben Fields joined the Sheriff's Department in 2004. In 2007, he was sued by Carlos and Tashiana Martin, for violating their civil rights during an investigation of a noise complaint. According to the lawsuit, Fields became angry and slammed Mr. Martin to the ground and handcuffed, kicked, and drenched him in mace. Fields also seized a cell phone from Martin's wife, who was recording the incident. The cell phone was never returned. The jury ruled in Fields' favor. So already you can see that this guy is, you know, basically saying that, hey, you know, because you have a right to record police officers doing their jobs as long as you're a reasonable distance, which is like I think 15 to 20 feet away from, you know, where the scene of the crime is taking place or whatever. Then you're allowed to record there. You have you know, the right as a U.S. citizen to record and document what this police officer is doing. And in 2008, that's when he became a school police officer. And in 2012, he became their defensive line coach. And then a lot of the students also said that on Twitter they're afraid of Fields because of you know, he has like anger issues or whatever. And that he's also facing a lawsuit in federal court accusing him of violating civil rights of students at Spring Valley High School in 2013. The student was expelled for unlawful assembly of gang activity, assault, and battery after an investigation by Officer Fields. The lawsuit claims that the investigation conducted by Officer Fields violated the student's right substantive and procedural due process, and claims that Fields recklessly targets African American students with allegations of gang membership and criminal activity. And basically, they have a whole bunch of Twitter posts saying, yeah, this guy's been doing this shit, since way back when, and they just finally now got him on camera. And I want to touch on the gang thing that I just mentioned. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of the kids who are labeled as gang members really aren't gang members. In a lot of inner cities, basically, if you're in a group of more than like 3 to 4 people, the law enforcement or authorities will label you as a gang. I mean, unless you've had this happen to you, then most people really don't know that that happens. I mean, I've been with friends where we might have been 3 or 4 deep, and we're just chilling, hanging out, and we're told to like disperse or leave the area because this police officer thinks we're gang members or something, and we're just hanging out. This is, at a park. What I want to see come out of this police brutality incident is to see Ben Fields arrested and charged with assaulting a minor. But more importantly, I want to see us as a country care more about the welfare of our children. Yes, this kid was, acting unruly, but why is that kid acting unruly? I think we need to, talk to children. We need to have a better understanding on what's going on at home, because children, they're, at the end of the day, kids are kids. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, sometimes they might act up. But when they're constantly being unruly, disruptive, angry, then there's something more going on than just, a kid being a kid and wanting to be, unruly. I mean, a lot of these kids go through some very traumatic stuff, and no one is there to talk to them. No one is there to, see what's going on at home. And it makes them feel like no one cares, and it makes them angry. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys think about this incident, and